All right, guys. So late at night, 1:15 in the morning. Took a little nap literally after the Florida State Notre Dame was over. Uh, that was one hell of a game. I was exhausted watching that damn game. I'm not gonna lie to you. First of all, let's give credit to Florida State. The amount of effort, the intensity, the drive that these guys had the entire game was incredible. These guys could have folded after being down by 18 points, but they continue to fight. They continue to fight, and they almost pulled it. They almost won this game against a pretty solid Notre Dame football team. Um, Mackenzie Milton, that's another guy we got to give a lot of credit for. This is a guy that should probably never ever play football again. I mean, you're talking about a dude that suffered an horrific injury. Not only could that injury potentially end his career, it could have potentially ended his life. Football, we forget sometimes that football is a very, very dangerous sport. Again, there's millions of us that have played the sport before. I've played the sport. It's very, very dangerous. I've suffered horrific injuries. It's no fun suffering those type of injuries. But again, if anyone has played football, whatever level you played at, this is a horrific sport, and anything can happen. Doesn't matter what level you're on, but yeah. So just want to give Mackenzie Milton his credit because he came out there, he did his thing. Travis Hunter, he battled, didn't have the greatest game in the world, but he continued to battle. But this was just a game that, in my opinion, I felt like Notre Dame was definitely the better team. I definitely felt like Notre Dame had more talent. But Brian Kelly said it best. Notre Dame failed to execute. This was a game where both teams, I'm not even going to say just Notre Dame, both teams really beat on themselves. And Florida State, after being down 18 points in that second half, just executed way more than Notre Dame did. Way more than in the second half. In the first half, it was nothing but miscues. Florida State they had some mistakes. Again, they had, I think, a couple, 2 or 3 interceptions. Kyle Hamilton is a ball hawk, and he's going to be a top 5 pick for sure. But Florida State just made a lot of miscues in the first half. Second half was all Notre Dame with the miscues. They got to execute. They got to be better. Again, I agree with everything that Brian Kelly said, except for the part where he's going to execute his kids. Even though we all know that's a Jack McKay. That's a joke. It's a Jack McKay joke, but still, they got to be better. Now, again, this could just be that. Another thing that we can also talk about is that Florida State. They got momentum. It's in a tough environment in Noel Stadium. And another thing is that Florida State can just be this good, right? Florida State had this potential all along, and it didn't take them really until the second half, until they were down by 18 points, until these guys finally played at the type of, the level of caliber that these guys expected to play at. I will say this, even though Florida State lost this game in overtime, the momentum, I think, will be carried over. Even though they lost this game, I still feel like there are so many positives to take away from this if you are a Florida State fan. And I think even Florida State fans even know that because, again, at the end of the game, you saw Florida State fans that normally they'll leave, they'll be quiet. But no, they were cheering. They were cheering on for their team because the effort that this team brought on and the amount of energy and the excitement was there. We haven't seen this in a while. I haven't seen this at a night game in no stadium in a long time. So there's so many positives to take away from this game. I do feel like sooner or later this 2-quarterback system is going to have to go away. They're going to, again, Harsin, he's going to have to decide which quarterback he wants to take, whether if it's Travis Hunter or whether if it's Mackenzie Milton, right? Again, Mackenzie Milton I wasn't even sure if he was going to play today. But Mackenzie, again, I feel like Mackenzie Milton, he's the more experienced quarterback. I feel like he's the guy. And personally, I would just roll with him. I watched Travis Hunter, and again, I love his effort. I love the fight. But I don't feel like Travis Hunter is ready yet. I feel like he needs way more I think he needs a little bit more development. I think Mackenzie Milton should be the guy for this particular system if he's 100% healthy. I feel like from what we saw from Florida State, they got the outside weapons. We saw Ja'Kai Douglas, true freshman from Louisiana, made a huge impact. We saw what they did in the running game, almost having close to 200 yards rushing there. Florida State has a lot of talent. Their offensive line seemed even a little bit more improved compared to what we saw from last year. They just at this point need the quarterback. I think their defense, they played, their defensive line played a lot better in the second half. I feel like their secondary needs a little bit more work. But overall wise, I feel like there's so many more positives to take away from this Florida State team. And again, this is not the same Knowles team from 7, 8 years ago when they were getting #1 recruiting classes. This is a Florida State team that's getting top 40, top 30 recruiting classes. They have nowhere near the talent level compared to what we've seen from Miami and even the Florida Gators, or I would even dare to say UCF. But Florida State does have some semblance of talent. I feel like, again, they've got a great recruiting class so far. I feel like this is a huge positive, not a negative for that particular aspect. And again, they're competing in the ACC conference where, again, there's not, besides Clemson, there really isn't anybody that is a shoo-in for this conference besides Clemson. That's the only team. So Florida State has a huge opportunity to expand upon the momentum that they received tonight. I do believe that they have a short week. I don't know if they compete next week. I do believe that I think they actually do compete next week. I'm not sure. Let me know if they're going to be playing on Saturday. But if they do have a short week, they gotta wrap this up. They gotta prepare. And again, we'll see what happens with Florida State. But again, this should be the momentum moving forward to the next game should definitely be there for this particular football team. As far as Notre Dame goes, again, I feel like, again, execution needs to be better. We all know this Notre Dame team is extremely talented, right? You got Kyron, you got with Williams. Michael Mayer balled out today. He had a couple crucial drops, especially the one drop, which literally could have set Notre Dame in position to win the football game and not really have to go to overtime. But you have Michael Mayer, he balled out today. I feel like Jack Cohen made some terrific throws, right? That he made some terrific throws. The one on the one streak was amazing. Great throw on a bomb was amazing. Jack Cohen made some terrific throws. Again, he's not the most mobile quarterback. He's not even mobile at all. He's undersized at his position, at his particular position. Again, he's a pocket passer, but he's very undersized, but he's very, very accurate. And if Notre Dame can give him the type of protection, then, he has shown that he can ball out. Now, again, this is against Florida State. We're going to have to see when they play more quality defenses. But overall wise, I thought Jack Cohen had a terrific game. Exclude the interception when he threw a Hail Mary. Jack Cohen damn near played almost a perfect game tonight. But yeah, we've seen the talent level was far more superior than what we saw than what we've seen in the past from Notre Dame. You're starting to see that these top 10 recruiting classes really starting to formulate itself. It's just execution. They just got to be. Again, we've seen this from Oklahoma. We've seen this from some of the other top-ranked schools that they've kind of struggled with these, with schools that they should definitely beat. LSU lost to UCLA, even though LSU was the far more talented team, in that type of aspect. So we'll see if Notre Dame can get itself back into shape, if they can get itself back into form, and if they can definitely play a lot better compared to what they saw tonight. Again, they played in a very, very difficult atmosphere in front of 80,000 people. So that definitely plays a huge factor. Maybe there was some jitters, but overall wise, Notre Dame has to play a lot better than what they did today, especially if their goal is to make it to the college football playoffs and compete with the likes of Alabamas, the Georgias, the Clemsons, the Ohio States of the world, if they want to try to, compete with those type of schools. But anyway, guys, let me know how you guys feel about this game in the comments. If you're a Florida State fan or Notre Dame fan, let me know how you guys feel about it. We can definitely hash it out, talk about it in the comments. And I am out. So, yeah, guys, Jan Sports, late night, but have a good night, or whenever you're going to watch this, evening, morning time, whatever you're going to watch it. And I will catch you guys in a little bit. Peace.